Hi everyone, I'm Graham, the clock repair specialist, and the reason we're doing this video today is a lot of people will call me on a house call and they're thinking, why do I need a house call? Well, let me explain to you one of the reasons, or some of the reasons, why you need a house call. First of all, you wouldn't want to bring this clock to me because the problem of damage, and plus you don't want to be dragging these weights and these pendulums around. So obviously, that's why one of the main reasons I make a house call is because you don't want to damage this glass or damage the clock bumping in the back of your vehicle. So normally what I'll do is someone will call me up, I'll give them the price for the house call, I will come to their house on a schedule that suits you, that fits in with your schedule, then I'll come to your house. What I normally do is, if, say for example, if you've just moved from one area to another and you've just moved into Colorado, I'll come to your house. I'll look at the clock, make sure that we've got 3 weights, make sure we have a pendulum, and obviously make sure the hands and the dial and everything is there that should be there. And then when I've got your weights, I'll hang your weights up with the heavy one on the right normally. The 2 lighter ones go on the left usually, not always, but most of the time. Then I'll hang up your pendulum. When I hang your pendulum up, there's a little suspension. Let me show you on this mechanism. This is called a suspension. I don't know whether you can get a close-up on that, but there's a little suspension there, and this little bracket here sits on that suspension, and then the pendulum sits on these little pins here, and it sits on down this side, and it runs through this part here. This is called a crutch, and it runs through the sleeve there, and the pendulum hangs on here. So I make sure on this one, as you can probably see from the video, that this is bent, and it's a common problem on a lot of these. This is just an old mechanism, by the way. This is bent, so then I would replace that. I check that this is straight, I check that this is in the correct position, this piece here. This is pretty much identical to the type of mechanism you've got in these clocks. And then what I'll do, I'll just run through it as the clock is, and I'll turn the hands round, make sure that it's playing a tune, and that it sounds okay, and that it's striking okay. This time it's playing on the 3/4, and it's playing Westminster. Then I'll come up to the hour, I'll check that it strikes the complete tune, which is 16 notes, and then I'll make sure that it strikes the 6. As you can see, the hour hand is facing 6. I'll make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. If it is, then we're okay. After I've done that, there are little side panels on these clocks, and these side panels lift up and come out. So I can look in the side of the clock. I can then see and check that there are 2 flies. These flies control the speed of the chime and the speed of the strike. And if those are running consistently, then I know that your clock is basically okay. At the same time, while I'm doing that, I'm going to check to see if your oil's dried out. If it is dried out, then I'll suggest that you have the clock oiled, because you need to oil any mechanical clock every 2 years. That's basically it for this session. It's just to let you know what's involved with the house call. Thanks.